and thinking about value or long-term investing, this could literally save you hundreds of dollars. Let's get into it. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment so we can all help each other out. Getting straight into it. Tip number one really is buying loose packs from random sellers. I've been burnt in the past with this. I actually, from an experience myself, I went to, a market where they had a lot of Pokémon vendors and markets and not markets, but other types of products. And there was this Prismatic Evolutions pack that I picked up, and it was only like $4 or $5. And straight away, the alarm bell should have rang, and that was my own fault. And I did ask the seller, and always be sure to ask the seller questions. Is this legit? And they said to me, yes, it is, because there are those packs you can buy at the post office for kids if you don't want to give them those expensive ones. But he told me it was. So I've gone home and I've opened it, and surely enough, it was a God pack. And I got really excited and turned it around, and it was like dark purple. And I wish I had an example to show, but that straight away set off alarm bells. And, it could have been a lot worse. It was only a few dollars. But I've also got another experience from eBay. And eBay usually is very, very trusted, but there are a lot of cowboys out there who are trying to scam you for your money, trying to ride the hype. This year it's Pokemon, next year it could be One Piece or whatever it is. Whatever the hype is, you're always going to have scammers out there trying to really lure in those who are new to the hobby. And I bought an Evolving Skies, it was kind of like a tin. Actually, yeah, similar to this tin here. Thinking that, it's going to be great. It was only like $45 and ended up being a Pikachu doll. And that's, again, another example where it was a little Pikachu doll, wasn't the greatest experience. And I always keep that on my shelf, for memories. And I guess how you can avoid this is really with eBay or anything online. Always look at the reviews. Always look at the if it's an accredited website, if it's trusted. But I really do like eBay. But with eBay, always look at their profile, look how many reviews they have, what the reviews are out of 5. But not just that. You can have 5 out of 5 from one. Sometimes I'm a bit cautious. I always like to see if they've got minimum 50 plus reviews. It's a bit unfortunate for the ones who are starting off their eBay store. They probably have a bit of time to build the trust. But if you don't want to get burnt straight away, then I think the greatest thing to do would be to see how many reviews they have, how many stars, and even if they're 4.8, but they've got 2,000 reviews, that they're reputable, that a lot of people have used them, and you've got less of a chance to get burnt. eBay also does have buyer's protection, so always make sure when you check out to see if you've checked it. You can always contact eBay if the product doesn't come, if it's faulty, if it's not what you wanted. You always want to take that little bit of extra time to protect your investments or protect your products, or if you're opening it, even worse, you don't want to be stuck with something that you did not order. Number 2 is really around buying everything up before doing research. And something that really sticks true to myself is back when I started recollecting, and for those who don't know, I started recollecting Pokemon from when I was a child, and then back in 2018, 2019, I think personally, there was a lot going on. So it really just draws you back to those good times when you were a child. But, Vivid Voltage, Shining Fates, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, they were all coming out in droves. And I was buying them all. I was opening them. I was trying to get all whatever I could. I wasn't really understanding the prices of the product. I wasn't understanding the chase card, how many packs it takes, what it could do over time. And to be fair, back then, Pokemon really wasn't what it was now. It was starting to really get that hype. No one could really foresee what it would do today. But I still didn't do any research. I was just opening everything. And then I did hear from some friends of mine that they were keeping some product sealed. And I'm like, why would you keep product sealed? It makes no sense. And they started showing me the 1999 base set, and they said, maybe this could do this one day, and it can go up to this price. And it gets you excited that you get to open packs and then keep some sealed for a future investment and to really future-proof the money. And I just decided to go, and I'm like, I bought something. I bought the Sword and Shield base booster box, and still a great product, don't get me wrong. But I bought 2, 3 of those booster boxes thinking, oh my God, they're on the shelf, they're available, because that's when things started to really hype up around that COVID time. But the only reason why they were on the shelf is because everybody else was buying Evolving Skies. And just to put it into context, if I had kept my Evolving Skies booster boxes and I had 3 of them and I opened them up, each one cost me around $200 US. Today, they'll be sitting around $2,800 US if I'd kept all 3 of them sealed. So while I did spend $200 plus for the Sword and Shield base set, they're worth about $650 now. Obviously, the returns would have been a lot larger if I had held Evolving Skies. And the same goes for Chilling Reign. Chilling Reign is really starting to get noticed, and that kind of goes into number 5 later on. We'll get into that. But you really want to be doing your research. And what's also really important with research when you're starting off is looking at what products are actually coming out of rotation. So 151, we know, very good product, very, very hyped, but it's out of print rotation now. And that means a lot of their booster bundles, the UPC over there, they're starting to climb in price because you won't see them in the shops ever again. So that's also part of doing your research, because if you have money to invest, try to invest in the hype sets that are going out of print rotation. Number 3, ignoring the singles and only opening packs. A lot of the times we just want to open the packs to get the hits, and we spend. And then by the time you get those singles, you start to think, well, I could have just gone on eBay or gone to a secondhand seller or somewhere trusted and bought that product. And for myself, a great example is Obsidian Flames. The 2 top Charizard cards are $71 and $45 US. Beautiful looking cards. You look at the booster box, you're looking at $300 plus US for those boxes. So I bought 2 Obsidian Flames boxes, and I'm ashamed to mention it. Ripped them open to try to find those 2 Charizards. I didn't get them. I got a lot of the other amazing artwork in that set, but it wasn't the Charizards. And I wasn't chasing a master deck or a master set. And if you are, then that's okay. But for me, I wasn't. So if you are wanting to go for the singles, have a look at the cost of the top chases that you want or the specific card that you want, and marry that up with the cost of the booster box. And if you're going to save $300-400 by buying the singles over the booster box, then I would recommend going straight for the singles to help add to your collection. Again, that advice, the piece of advice really is around your specific collectability objectives. But if you're looking for the master set, go ahead and buy the booster box as a base to get a good foundation, and then buy the singles that you need to collect. And don't forget, like I mentioned in the last video, if you are on eBay, negotiate, don't be disrespectful, use those vouchers that they offer you on eBay Plus, and you can get some really good deals. So that's a really important one to keep in mind, especially if you are more of a collector of cards than sealed products. Number 4, and this is something that's really important and it's often overlooked. You're not protecting your hits or your sealed products carefully. So, perfect example, you can see over here, I've got the Prismatic ETB, the Destined Rivals booster box, and the 151 Ultra Premium Collection. So these are 3 really expensive products. These are 3 of my favorite products. And for these videos, for when I'm moving house, I'm moving these products around. They're just wrapped in plastic. But what makes them valuable is the fact that they're sealed, the fact that the original packaging is on, and it, I guess, gives the buyer in the future more confidence that these are pristine condition products. But if you're not protecting these products, then they get rips. You've gone from say you've spent $200 on the UPC and it's gone to $1,000. That rip automatically probably brings it down to $500. And not everybody sells, but even if you're not selling, you don't want a ripped product on your shelf. You want to look at it, you want to be proud, you want to be happy. So I really recommend buying these acrylic cases, and you can see here I've got some really nice acrylic cases for these, and I've got more on the way to protect the rest because I'm moving them around a lot. I'm shooting videos, Even you will see on my shorts, pack it up, rip it up. You know, wear and tear. I'm talking about what I'm buying, but you need to spend equal amount of money protecting it. You want to preserve the future, just like we get house insurance or car insurance. We want to be able to insure these products also. But that's not only it. If you're chasing singles and you pull the big hit, say you open Phantasmal Flames and you get the Charizard, are you going to put it straight into a binder, or are you going to put it into a tin and forget about it? That goes from a PSA 10 potentially to a PSA 7 or 8 because of the scratches, the dents. What's really important is getting the sleeves, the top loaders, and making sure it's in a folder that is designed for cards. Otherwise, again, you're ripping, you're just spending money and not really thinking about preserving it. I think the preservation of these products is more important than actually getting the product itself. So really keep that in mind and always do some shopping. Go on eBay, go on Amazon. If you're in Australia, EB Games, JB, they've got them everywhere. And the sleeves and the top loaders, they're relatively cheap. You know, if you're spending that extra $10, $15 to protect your singles, it's worth it in the long run. The acrylics are a little bit more expensive. You're looking at, $40 to $50 up to $100 per acrylic. But if you're buying these high-end sealed products, then it's definitely worth keeping them sealed and protected. Tip number 5 is following hype instead of your own strategy. This is like anything in life, whether you're getting into Pokemon or you want to get into One Piece or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or sports memorabilia or NBA. Follow your own strategy. Do your own research. We've got AI at our fingertips. We can just ask them a simple question about certain cards, certain sets, print runs, when it goes out of rotation, what tends to do well, and spend that little bit of time. And the reason for that is last year, everybody was chasing the Prismatic Evolutions SPC. They really, really wanted it. And people were making fun of other sets. This set's weak, this set's strong, this set's this and that. And a lot of people in this community were going to have a lot of opinions, a lot of opinions about what they think is right. And most of the time they might be right, but they stuck true to what they believe. Just because everyone's chasing Prismatic doesn't mean you need to chase Prismatic. You could go and chase another product, because best believe when that product tops up and then they start to look at other sets where they can invest the money, those prices go up. Because if you look at the celebrations, for so long it was sitting between $40 and $80 US for a ETB. People were worried about the SPC of Prismatic, and they wanted to get Prismatic or 151 or Destin Rivals. And those prices kept going up and up. People were more and more priced out of that. And some people actually pivoted to celebrations because this year is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, as I mentioned. So naturally, they thought the 25th anniversary would do really well. And it more than doubled. It's now nearly, I think it's over, $250 for a ETB US. That's from around a low of 40 and an average of around 75. It just kept climbing up. All the celebrations products have skyrocketed. That's because people had their own strategy and didn't follow the hype. When you follow the hype, you're more likely to pay premium for those products. And we're seeing the same with Chilling Reign. For so long, the prices were quite stable, and now we're starting to see a real run-up. And a lot of people are tipping that could go to $1,000 US for a booster box in the next couple of years. And that's probably a $300-400 increase over what you could buy right now. So really follow your own strategy. Don't follow the hype. Do your research, take your time, and really just follow your heart, because sooner or later, people will start to see your vision. And that's what's most important. Now, I do have a bonus video. Now I do have a bonus tip. And this tip really is around not budgeting. It is so easy when you first start. You got paid. You haven't really gotten into the hobby that much, just to go and spend, $1,000, and you would go and buy every single product there is. And that kind of leaks into what I was talking about earlier, not having your own strategy. But even if you do have your own strategy, don't spend too much money too quickly. And the reason for that is, if you want to buy a couple of the older sets, start to build the collection, Pokemon is always releasing new sets. Last year, we saw Prismatic, we saw Black Bolt, White Flare, we saw Destined Rivals, we saw Mega Evolution, we saw Phantasmal Flames. This year, Ascended Heroes just got released. You've got Perfect Order coming, and the sets just keep coming. And you start to think, I can't keep up. But it's a really good opportunity to buy these at retail if you go to your retailer, sign up for the newsletters and get in early. But it's hard to get those if you've blown all your money on singles, on sealed products, on past products. So really set yourself a budget and remember that this is the long game. You can't get all the products you need in 1 month. I've been doing this for years, and every month I set aside a few $100s and I buy things that I want. And slowly over time, you build your collection because FOMO's our biggest killer. We all think we're going to miss out on the next big thing or the next best thing. It's not going to happen. You might get something at a little bit of a higher price point. It might come down, but over time, you will start to see, return on investment if you're investing in sealed product, and especially with the singles. A lot of the time, singles, they do fluctuate. So don't buy things only because you think they're going to go up in price. Buy them because you like them. But at the same time, buy them responsibly. That's all for today. If you like the content, like I mentioned, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below about some of your tips that could help the wider community. If people are reading those comments, share your tips so we can avoid making the same mistakes again. And hopefully the new people coming into this hobby don't make the same mistakes that I did when I first started. And this is what it's all about. It's about helping each other, giving each other advice, and just being honest with each other. Until next time, I'm Pat with Pack with Pat.